Hi. Today, I want to talk with you about how powerful women are. A lot of us really don't realize that. And when the whole thing came out 2 years ago about the man versus the bear, and 7 out of 8 women chose the bear instead of the man, they weren't doing it to be silly or dramatic. They did it because predictable harm, i.e., like what can a bear come up with, often feels safer than unpredictable harm. But the other thing that question did a couple of years ago is, at least to me, it made women look like we are the victims, and we're not. As I mentioned earlier, it's like most of us don't realize how incredibly powerful we are in our relationships, especially if we're in a relationship with a good guy. It's like if you're in a relationship with a lousy guy, of course things are going to go wrong and things are going to go bad. But if you're in a relationship with a good guy, you lead things, you move things forward. And most of us prefer predictability. Now, that doesn't mean we want someone who lacks spontaneity, who isn't up for fun at times, or to make us laugh or something like that. I mean, we don't want somebody boring, but we want somebody who's, consistently caring. And the word I like to use is cherish. He's somebody who cherishes you. He's somebody who says you look beautiful rather than saying you look hot, because hot is just about appearances, which is great, but beautiful is about more than appearances. Beautiful is appearances, but also your personality and the kind of human being that you are. We really are the leaders in love. So if you have a decent guy in your life and you go up and hug him, chances are he's going to hug you back. Now, he may not be the one who comes up to you and hugs you first, but he's going to hug you back. So you lead, right? Another way that we're a leader in love is when it comes to intimacy. It's like if we say no, unless he's like a really lousy guy, I mean, it's no, like maybe tomorrow night. So we really do lead. And so if we are good listeners and caring and reach out and take his hand, chances are he's going to appreciate that and, let the relationship follow along. I mean, obviously, I'm talking at the point where it's already been established that there's attraction, that there's things in common and things like that. But on the flip side, this is if you have a good guy. On the flip side, if you have a narcissist, it's like no matter what you do, it's never going to be enough. I was married to one of those guys, and it's like they fall in love with you because of your, you look good and you sound good and you're smart and you're funny and all those things. And then it's like they want to take a buzzsaw to your to you and just like chop it all to bits. I mean, I remember it's like I was never so sad in my life as when I was married to a narcissist, and it was like there were days when I just didn't want to go on. It was like so horrible. I mean, I remember a few days where like I didn't even get out of bed. I remember having stomach pains like so bad. I thought, I wonder if I have cancer. And I was like in my early 30s at the time, like not good. And the minute I got away from him and made the decision, it's like, okay, I want this out of my life. It's like stomach pain, no problem. Never been a problem since all those years ago, ever. Now, the thing that exhausts us, there's like the flip side and the good side and the bad side. The thing that makes us tired is that we get tired of managing men's feelings. We kind of manage his moods. If he's in a mood, we're sort of responsible for kind of calming him down, right? And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. It depends on the guy and it depends on the sort of infraction. We're sort of responsible for his reactions, trying to avoid escalation if it's a person that you don't feel safe with, shrinking so that he's not threatened by you. You know, I'm sure you've done that. I've done that. We've all done that. And then, of course, you know, we can get, and again, this is the not good guy, we can get blamed for overreacting at times when we have a perfect legitimate beef, you know, that needs to be listened to and responded to in a productive way, you know. The whole thing about the man versus the bear and is the fact that so many of us have lived so many ups and downs in our relationships with men. You know, the bad breakup, the ghosting, the everything else is like the question really hit a nerve when people experience that. So when you've been through the worst, you know, and I probably wasn't through the worst, but it sure as shit felt like it at the time. When you've been through the worst, the most attractive thing is a guy who's emotionally safe, you know, a guy who cherishes you and who's a good listener and who reaches out and takes your hand and who says, honey, it's going to be okay. We're going to make it work, or, you know, whatever. All right. And one thing that just popped into my head as I was kind of getting my thoughts ready for this video is I love romantic comedy movies. I really enjoy them. And the last couple of years, because I'm married to a guy from India, I kind of got into Indian romantic comedy movies. And the thing that happens in those movies is there's always like conflict, and then she starts to see something of value in him, like maybe the way that he interacts with children, or maybe the way that he handles his job, or, you know, his family, or something like that. And she softens a little, right? And then it's like things happen enough that then she turns around, but it's too late, right? And then he has to go run after her, like through the airport or whatever it is. And, you know, it's the same thing with Indian romantic comedy movies. It's like these two people don't like each other. And in India, there is so much pressure to marry for young adults. It's like so much pressure. It's like a woman is not a complete adult until she gets married, you know, and parents feel like it's their responsibility and they are a failure if they can't get their kids married, right? And by the way, it's not just women. Boys are considered unsuccessful, and they're considered boys even well into their 30s if they haven't married, right? And so anyway, but life isn't like that. It's like if you're having that conflict, that dissonance, you know, early in the game, this probably isn't the one for you. And if you've been dealing with it, these emotional ups and downs, it's like, I think you need to make a decision. It's like, okay, is this really the right guy for you? I mean, because if he's not motivated to become that cherishing, caring, listening, kind person, for his own reasons, right? You know, I mean, once a person is like a fully formed adult, you know, they typically don't change that much unless they have their own good reason to do it. And in the romantic comedies, I mean, that's just basic storytelling. I'm a writer. I know this stuff, right? I mean, they go from one conflict to another, and it makes for entertaining movies, and I'll always find them fun. But that's not life, and you don't want those kind of conflicts in your relationship. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm Denise, what I wish I knew at 30. Please take a moment to comment, and I would love it if you would like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.